Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. Today is a very gloomy day in Southern California. I made it down to Six Flags Magic Mountain. I haven't been here for like maybe 2 months. Very excited. I don't know how many rides will be open because there is some light rain, but I see some rides operating now. So regardless, it's gonna be a fantastic day. I'm gonna share some tips and pointers, little shortcuts, and things to avoid. So it's gonna be a fun day. So let's go. So the first tip, and it goes without saying, but is to arrive to the park early. Like most parks, if you come to the park nice and early, be one of the first ones into the park, then you can probably hit like 4 or 5 rides without any wait. And especially in Magic Mountain, since the park is so big, if you go in and head towards like the back of the park, you'll have like such an efficient morning, and the rest of the day will be awesome. So I made it inside the park. Typically on a busy day, you really have to have a game plan. The whole park is essentially a giant circle, so you either want to start left or right, but most people start heading right because they see full throttle and they get excited, so they just run to that first. I actually like to start my day by going left. Typically I like to ride Tatsu, but since today's so light, I might just head to X2 first. And also, speaking of X2, most of the time when you come into the park, X2 won't be opening like right on time. It usually takes some time for the workers to kind of set everything up and open the ride. So it usually doesn't start like on time. So that's why I usually head to Tatsu first, and then maybe once X2 opens, I will head back to X2. But I saw it running today, so I'm gonna head to X2 right now. And for first timers, X2 might be a little hard. The entrance for X2 might be a little hard to find. You see this bridge right here? So we're gonna go around here, and then there's a path leading straight to X2. That's the only ride that kind of stands alone and it has its own area. So if you have to get the map, you can get the map. You also see this large sign right here telling you to go that direction and then up the stairs across the bridge. And here's another tip if you're a first timer here at Six Flags Magic Mountain. X2 is probably the ride that has the longest line. Number one, the dispatch is so long because of the restraints and like the type of trains. And also they typically run only one train. So if it's top priority to ride X2 on this trip, you should ride this first if it's open, or maybe wait till like later in the day and then the line will be a little more manageable. But right now, as you can see, no wait whatsoever. So first ride, I haven't rode this in a while, so I'll see you guys after. Just finished X2, and let me just say, what a fantastic ride. I sat on the last row in the inside seat, and you know what, it was running really great, super smooth, not as bumpy as I remembered. Make sure you keep your head back though, because it gets a little rattly like towards the end, but overall fantastic ride. Next I might head to Tatsu depending on if it's operating or not, so yeah, we'll go on about our day. So I actually made it down back to the carousel where the pretzel loop and revolution is, because on a day where X2 is not open or if it's opening late, this is the path I usually take. So if you don't know, the entrance to Revolution also has an exit path right over here. I'll show you guys, and it actually cuts through the giant loop that you have to go around to get to Tatsu. So I'll show you guys right now. So you'll see the entrance to Revolution here, but to the right you'll see a little pathway. It seems like it's like a path you shouldn't take, but it actually is the main exit for this ride. And you'll see that it actually connects to the back path of the park. So I'll show you guys right here. So this, especially for the first ones in the park, you come in, you head left, take this little shortcut, then you'll be like one of the first riders at Tatsu for sure. So you go here, so that's the ride right there. And then this little black gate, it's an exit for the riders here. But if you look over here, there's a little walkway up there that cuts to the top of the path right there. So I'll show you guys right here. So that's the exit, people coming out. And then either they can head back to the merry-go-round, or they can take this pathway and up to Tatsu. And I made it up top. That's where X2 is. This is the path that I just took. And if you walk this way, you'll see Tatsu. Alright, I made it to Tatsu. And another helpful tip is that typically Tatsu is another ride that really has a long line typically. So this is a main queue, but if you're a single rider, there's also an exit path that goes through, and you'll see signs for single riders. So that means if you're the only person, they'll put you in a random row and you get to skip a lot of the lines. So if you're alone, or if you're a party of 2 or 3 and you don't mind getting split up, that could be one trick that you can use. And I'll see you guys after I ride Tatsu. So Tatsu was really great. The best flying coaster in the States, maybe the world. But now I'm headed down to the underground district. From this point, this is my typical route. I start with Tatsu and then head down to ride Apocalypse, West Coast Racer, and then make a giant loop towards the Scream side with Twisted Colossus and kind of make my way to the front where Full Throttle is. And despite the gloomy appearance, it's actually a nice day at Six Flags Magic Mountain. I usually come during the summer, and by this point I'll be completely drenched with sweat. But it's nice that we have some brisk days too, a little bit of mist, but no rain so far. And as you can see over there, the white and the yellow track is the next coaster we're gonna ride. It's Six Flags' second newest coaster. It came out in 2020 before the pandemic. So it's a multi-launch coaster. It duels every time, meaning that there's 2 trains kind of battling each other. It's a very cool concept, and you get to ride both sides in one ride. So I'll explain more when I get there. So what I mean about you can ride both sides in one ride is that as one train exits and takes a lap, it will go all the way around and it will actually go into the second launch. So you'll get to go on both tracks in one ride. So you don't have to wait for one ride and find another line to ride the other side. You'll get to experience both sides. Right across from West Coast Racer is Apocalypse, a Woody built by GCI. Last time I rode it, it was super rough, so I'm not looking forward to that, but you know what? For old time's sake, let's do it. After you get out of Underground District, you can walk towards Superman and you'll find this plaza. And the interesting part about this plaza is, yes, it's one of the main food locations in the park right there. There's also Gold Rusher. And then there's this little pathway over here that leads to Superman and Ninja. Superman is a pretty rare credit because the chances are it might be down, but today it's running, so I'm gonna walk up this enormous hill and I'll see you guys when I get up top. As you can see, this hill is pretty steep. As the name entails, Magic Mountain is literally built on a mountain, so be prepared to walk bring comfortable shoes, bring comfortable clothes, and don't forget to drink a lot of water, especially in the summertime. Made it to the top of the mountain and you'll see this grand entrance for Superman. It looks pretty cool. I like the entrance. And I haven't rode this in a while either, so looking forward to this one. And it also looks like they started repainting the entrance. So as you can see, this lower portion right here is more blue and icy than the top portion. So the park is taking good care of this old classic. Just finished Superman and now it's time to eat. So I ordered online, or I ordered through the phone for Johnny Rockets. So when I get there, get my food, I'll show you guys what I got. And on my way to my food, I want to show you guys this plaza. This is called the Metropolis. So I just came down from the Superman hill over there. I just walked straight and you'll see Wonder Woman. The entrance is on the other side, but you can get into the stand-up right here is called Riddler's. Also, you can ride I forgot what that was called, like the Superman Justice League or whatever. Bathroom ride, the best ride in the park. Scrambler and AC Clubs. I never tried that place for food, but I heard they have pretty good barbecue, and I think that's all I heard. Like good barbecue, good sandwiches, maybe some burgers. So maybe next time. And for lunch, I got a bacon cheeseburger, so I'll skip until the end of my lunch. Guys, I think I was really hungry because I absolutely devoured that thing. It was pretty good. Do you guys ever eat so fast that your jaw starts hurting? Because I experienced that. But with that being said, now I'm ready to ride more coasters. I made it to Wonder Woman, one of my favorites in the park. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys after I ride that. After a fantastic ride on Wonder Woman, now it's time to head down to the Screampunk district to ride my favorite ride in the park. So they only have 2 rides in this part of the park. One is like one of the best coasters in the world, and the other one is a hot piece of garbage called Scream. Just kidding. Some people like that one. Not so much for me because it is kind of shaky and I'm not a huge fan of floorless coasters. So I'm mainly here for Twisted Colossus. Let's go! Oh man, what a great ride. If you like smooth coasters with a lot of forceful elements, you'll love this ride. One of the best roller coasters built by Rocky Mountain Constructions and one of my favorites in the world. Oh man, I'm breathless. And oh, I forgot to mention, the best seat on Twisted Colossus is actually row 10 or 11 in my opinion, because yes, the back row is gonna be the most like whippy and intense, but since the restraints are kind of bulky and like sits on your lap, the air time you get from the last row, it'll really hurt your thighs. So if you want to like kind of reduce the pain, I actually recommend row 10 or 11. And oh man, I'm actually really contemplating if I should ride this or not, because it's a fantastic drop, one of the best, one of the biggest in the world, but it's a little too cold right now, so I don't know if I want to sit up there for like 10 seconds, so probably not. Next time. Psych! I ain't no wuss. I'm gonna do it for y'all. Okay, I might be regretting this because I might ride by myself. So if I die, I love you all. It's okay everyone, I'm alive. I'm alive. By now, I am going towards the front of the park, which makes a complete circle. The only ride I didn't get to do is probably Goliath, and also Full Throttle is down today. So those 2 rides were like probably the main big ones I didn't get to do. But overall, a fantastic day. Man, overall it's such an empty day at the park. Probably one of the most empty I've seen this park. It has to do with the fact that number one, it's a weekday, and number two, it was raining in the morning, so it's still gloomy, a little mist, so this park is completely empty. So at this point, we made a full circle around the park, and I'm sad that this ride's not open. It's one of my favorites, but as you can see, we made it back to the main fountain area. So I think I'm pretty much done for the day actually. I was able to get a lot of rides in the last, what, 4 hours of this park, and that was me taking it really slow. Again, since it's such a slow day, I was really kind of roaming free, but if it's a busy day, come with the game plan, use some of the tricks I gave you, and you'll have a pretty okay day even on a super crowded day. And my final tip for the day, super tip, is so right across full throttle, you see the fountain. So instead of going around to get to the exit of the park, you can actually head inside this merch shop. So I'll skip until I'm inside. Alright, so once you're inside, you might think it's just a one-way entrance with, hello, with different gifts, but it actually leads to the other side. It's connected, and it kind of saves you from more walking. Especially if you had a long day at Six Flags. It's a little shortcut that might help your day. There you go, and that's the exit. And now I'm currently heading back to my car, but some final recap of just different tips and tricks that you can do at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Number one, make sure you arrive nice and early. The parking gates open about like an hour before the park actually opens. Sometimes they open the gates a little early so you can get into the park before any of the rides open. But again, like, it's such a big park, once you're one of the first ones in and you head towards the back of the park, you'll have such a more like efficient day, or efficient start to the day. So that's number one. Number two, if X2 is your top priority, that should be your first ride no matter what. The only case is that if it's not open or if it's not testing, you don't want to kind of wait around there just in case it never opens up, or if it opens up really late, then you kind of wasted your first hour. So instead, my tip number three is to take the shortcut next to Revolution, head to Tatsu, ride that really fast, and then head down towards the back of the park where Underground District is. You'll ride Apocalypse, West Coast Racers, and then kind of head more west towards, you'll get to Riddlers. You can go up to Superman and kind of make a loop around that way. I typically eat lunch a little late, around 1, so the first 2 hours I kind of like rush things through, so I can probably get maybe 10-12 rides in before lunch. So if you kind of, even if it's a busy day, if you're early and you kind of go that route, you can probably get 10 rides in. And then tip number 4 is to bring water. Make sure you wear appropriate clothes if it's cold, if it's hot, nice shoes, and make sure like you're ready to walk a lot, because by the end of the day you'll be so tired. There's hills and mountains, I guess, you're climbing throughout the day, so make sure you're ready for that. And the final tip is to just kind of have fun. Make sure you come with your families or friends, because if you're alone, it's still fun, because I come to theme parks all the time, but being with someone, being with my girlfriend or being with my friends, it makes the day so much better. Have a good attitude. Don't let things kind of put you down if the line's pretty long. Just wait, play some games in line. It's all about perspective, and after all, the theme park is built for your amusement. They're not entitled to give you like this VIP experience. It's what you make out of it, so enjoy your life and just have fun. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this video was somewhat helpful. If you've never been here before, try out these tricks. It might work, it might not. And if you are a constant visitor at this park, make sure you comment your own tips and maybe you can help someone else out. So again, thank you so much. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, everything, all that good things that we appreciate. And until next time, peace.